Already know this is Pun, Drunk Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself, aka El Adobo, aka El Sazon, aka El Borracho. Ladies and gentlemen, man, AJ, Anthony Joshua. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all remember the show, the Dave Chappelle show? You remember that episode when he had the skit of when keeping it real goes wrong? When keeping it real goes wrong. Y'all remember that funny skit? Now, I think Anthony Joshua's comment towards Andy Ruiz, I think is that when keeping it real goes wrong. Like, to be honest, I'm not disagreeing what he was saying. Of course, we all know that Andy Ruiz is chubby. We all know that he's getting back in shape. You feel me? We all know he's a little chubby. But look, I'm from New York City. Shout out to everybody in New York City. Y'all already know Wash Heights, Harlem. I'm from New York City. I was around the promo I was around the fight week of Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. And this is the truth. A lot of Mexicans was not supporting Andy Ruiz like they would support the guys like Canelo Alvarez, the guys like Marquez, the guys like even the Virgil Ortiz of the world, even probably the Jose Ramirez of the world. I'm keeping it real. In New York City, with that fight week, I did not see that Mexican fan base for Andy Ruiz. So when Anthony Joshua stated in his recent interview, and I'm just paraphrasing, that he did a favor to the Mexican fans by giving them Andy Ruiz, I understand what he's saying, but the way that he put it is all wrong. When keeping it real goes wrong. Now let me say it like this. See, Andy Ruiz did what he had to do for himself. He beat your ass. He beat Anthony Joshua's ass and stuff like that. He stopped Anthony Joshua. And the good thing about Anthony Joshua ain't come with no excuses like we know others. You feel me? Anthony Joshua could have, even when people wanted to give Anthony Joshua some excuse, he stopped that. He nipped it in the bud. Nah. Andy Ruiz beat me fair and square. That's why I think Anthony Joshua got a lot of respect, because of his character and things of that nature. But let me tell you like this: a lot of these fighters that you think they may be humble, they got cocky in them. They got a lot of ego, and maybe they need that ego to be the best that they could be. You know what I'm saying? You got to go into the ring, and you got to feel like ain't no man out there that could beat you. You could be humble, but it's probably very, very hard to be. I mean, there's a humbling sport, but you can't have that just humble mind. That you really got to have that type of ego, I think so, in the sport of boxing. But you got to channel it. Now, I know some other people may take it like, yo, Anthony Joshua, what the fuck he mean that he gave us to the Mexican? He did the Mexican people a favor. I don't think you did him a favor, because that wasn't that. I don't think that you did the Mexican people a favor, because Andy Ruiz did what he had to do in the ring to beat you. I understand that if he never faced Anthony Joshua and beat Anthony Joshua, that a lot of people wouldn't even recognize Andy Ruiz as this Mexican star. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: go back into when Andy Ruiz did beat Anthony Joshua. It was only them celebrating. This is Madison Square Garden. It was only really them celebrating. That's the facts. I'm from New York. I know what I saw. I know what I saw leading up to the fight week. I know what I saw. He didn't have this massive support from the Mexican people. He was supposed to be a guy that just came out of nowhere not came out of nowhere, but we already know that he represented the Mexico team, the Mexican Olympic team. But let's be clear. Let's be honest. He did not get that support, and maybe if the fight was on West Coast, maybe, but in the East Coast, he was not getting this phenom support. You know what I'm saying? It was a guy that was substituting for Gerald, for Big Baby, the juicer. And he was a guy that came, and nobody thought that he was going to beat Anthony Joshua. Even the ESPN, all these guys was making fun of Anthony Joshua, in which I did a video dissing Stephen A. Smith for dissing Andy Ruiz for not knowing his boxing. But let's be real, let's be honest. Ain't nobody saw that coming. A lot of people was trying to say that this is like another Buster Douglas and stuff like that performance. So then after when Andy Ruiz won, then all the Mexicans, the countrymen started supporting him the way they should have supported him before that fight. Let's be real and let's be honest. It looked like everybody jumped on the Andy Ruiz train. Let's be real, let's be honest, okay? No throwing no shades. So I could understand Anthony Joshua, what he meant, but the way that he said it was probably all wrong. But I understand the sentiment of what he's trying to say. If he would have said like, yo, when Andy Ruiz fought me and he beat me, he brought in a new crop of fan base into the heavyweight division, because we already know the Mexican got it locked down in fan base. They know how to be loyal. They know how to support their fighters. But Andy Ruiz was not promoted that way. You remember, he just came out of a contract. He did, and then he just he had a fight with PBC, and then in 4 weeks they put him to fight Anthony Joshua. But a lot of people thought it was gonna be Luis Ortiz to be substituted for Big Baby. But Al Heyman said, you know what, Andy Ruiz, go fight him. Feel me? All I'm saying is a lot of people out there did not have confidence that Andy Ruiz was going to beat Anthony Joshua. A lot of people didn't get in the Andy Ruiz train until he beat Anthony Joshua. So I can understand that Anthony Joshua, you felt like you did the Mexican fan a favor. But I'm going to say it like this. Andy Ruiz gave the Mexican fans a favor to bring that new crop of Mexican fan base into the heavyweight division, and where the Mexican fan base really is not in the heavyweight division, because there was really no type of Mexicans out there in the heavyweight division except for Andy Ruiz. Did a lot of people have a lot of confidence in Andy Ruiz? Probably not. Let's be real and let's be honest. Matter of fact, he didn't do the Mexican people a favor. Anthony Joshua, you didn't do the Mexican people or Andy Ruiz a favor. Andy Ruiz did us all a favor. Did us all a favor to recognize him and his own greatness at that time. Andy Ruiz did what he needed to do to give us the favor. Matter of fact, he gave us a favor to bring a new star into the heavyweight division. Somebody that we could talk about more. Andy Ruiz did what he had to do. And remember, Andy Ruiz asked for that fight. Andy Ruiz did himself a favor and did us a favor to recognizing him by the performance that he had versus Anthony Joshua. So don't take the credit, because remember, Andy Ruiz is the one that direct message Eddie Hearn to fight you. He stepped up. He was prepared. He didn't care how many weeks it needed to take. He was prepared to fight, and he beat you. And at the end of the day, let's not neglect that it was only them celebrating that night, really. It was really only them that was celebrating that night. People were celebrating the underdog, the underdog or the what you call it? What's the name? What people say? The upset. That's what people were celebrating, but people wasn't really going for Andy Ruiz. Let's be real. Let's be honest. So it is what it is. I'm not mad at Anthony Joshua. I think it was when keeping it real goes wrong. I think he should have reworded it a different way. But I understand what he's trying to say. But Andy Ruiz is the guy that actually did it. He the one that brought the Mexican people. You ain't do nobody a favor. Andy Ruiz did himself a favor. So I could disagree, but I understand. This is boxing. Don't get too touchy, y'all. End of the day, let's see that trilogy. I do think, in my opinion, that Andy Ruiz deserved that trilogy more than Deontay Wilder deserved the Tyson Fury trilogy. That's what I think. What y'all think? Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, get my updated videos. I love y'all. God bless, and on to the next.